So today I want to talk a little bit about failure. I had 2 times this week where I experienced failure in my classroom. I think failure is hard for a lot of people to deal with. It's scary to be in the middle of something and think, oh my goodness, this is not working the way that I wanted it to. This is not going the way that I planned it. And that's true for me as well. It doesn't feel good to fail. I don't look forward to it necessarily. So my first experience was with a 2nd grade lesson that I'm teaching on melody. So I taught this lesson at the end of last year, sort of later in the year, and it had gone over so well. The students loved the song. They were getting the concepts that I was trying to teach them. We had a good time, and it was one of the most fun and positive lessons that I had taught in 2nd grade. Since this lesson was talking a lot about melodic movement, skips and steps, and repeated notes, I wanted to move it earlier in the year. So I taught it. This is our 5th unit for the year, but I've found that it is markedly less successful than it was the last time I taught it. I'm having difficulty connecting concepts that they understand to new concepts that we're introducing. I've had trouble getting students to understand the relationship of where notes are in musical space, to how they sing them, to what they already know. And I kept tweaking it. Every lesson I did tried something different. I rewrote a little bit of the intro, I rewrote a little bit of the middle, I changed the ending, I tried adding things, I tried taking things away, and it never really worked. So in an entire lesson that previously had been one of the best that I had ever experienced with 2nd graders, turned into, I wouldn't say one of the worst, but one of the most, for me as a teacher, frustrating, because I wasn't able to get across the excitement that I was previously with exactly the same materials. Getting to the end of this unit, and sort of reflecting on what was different, what went wrong, why I had failed. Part of it was I was thinking about my mental space is a little more clogged right now with all the different things I have going on. Maybe my time management needs work. And I talked to my college mentor yesterday, and she observed that it might just be the wrong time of the year, and maybe the students, since it's so early in the year, only the 5th lesson that we've had together, it might be that I just needed, it would be more successful if it was towards the end of the year, like it was when it was more successful. And that makes sense to me. So I may push it in next year, I may push it back to the end of the year. The second experience was with the 3rd grade lesson this year. And it wasn't actually the lesson itself. The lesson that I've been teaching has been really, really well. The students have had fun, and we're learning a lot about note values and rhythms. But at the beginning of the lesson, I'm giving the students a short 3-question quiz on note value and what a quarter note is and a pair of 1/8 notes is. Pretty simple. It's a part of a big push we're doing this year in 3rd grade to get all the students sort of understanding what note value is and how these different notes work together. But at the beginning of the lesson, I'm asking a simple question: what is note value? It's a definition question, and I gave them 4 different options, multiple choice question, using Plickers cards. And I was finding consistently that classes were only able to guess correctly between 18 and 30% of the time. Most of them completely bombed that simple definition of note value. I was getting frustrated, not at students, not really at myself, just trying to figure out why is this happening. And for a while I thought maybe it was just a simple thing about forgetfulness. I only see them once every 2 weeks, so that leaves a lot of space, a lot of time where students can sort of forget things. And I understand that. That's part of the that's part of the gig, right? They were not only getting that answer wrong, but they were answering one of the multiple choice questions that to me seemed the most obviously incorrect, which was note value is the number of notes in a song. It was overwhelming. It was like 70% of the students had chosen this answer. And I asked them, can you explain to me why you're choosing this? I'm trying to get an idea of where the students were at, because I couldn't think of a reason why they would think that was important. What I was hearing was the students were connecting things that they knew about math, like place value, counting a math concept. And so they sort of picked up on these terms from mathematics and saw that some of them matched what we were talking about in music, and then saw the word numbers. What is the number of notes in a song? They saw that word number and thought that it was talking about math. And with the idea of note value and math and numbers, and they sort of glued onto that question. What I found out by this failure to write an effective quiz, to write an effective question, a misleading question, actually the students were doing the correct thing. They were thinking about what they already knew. They were connecting it to something that I was showing them, and they found an answer in the middle that was incorrect, but it was properly thought through. It demonstrated to me the power of asking questions correctly and following up when students consistently misunderstand or get something wrong. Usually there's a reason for it. Being able to reflect on these failures makes me into a better teacher. Like if I hadn't written that really poorly worded question, I wouldn't have known what my students were thinking about in terms of connecting what they knew about math to music. Some of it was right, some of it was wrong. But now I know if we're able to fail at something and reflect on it and learn from it, then it's become something that's productive, something that's fruitful. Failing does not make you a failure. So keep failing, but more importantly, keep trying. Because the more you try, the more you might fail, but the greater your chance is of success.